Good evening everyone. I'm going to do a talk this evening called Pop the Bubble. You'll find out what that means as I go along. So we are given a very limited view of what it means to be human. Society gives us that very limited view. Most people today have lost touch with their true nature and have no idea that they are spiritual beings on a human journey. Caught up in the soul-destroying treadmill of intellectual knowledge and dogmatic religions, they are blind to the beauties of the spiritual life as it really is. No one who understands this could ever think or act in a way that is harmful to any living thing, as they will be aware of the interconnectedness of all things. Millions have lost touch with reality and are following a path that leads downhill fast. What is most important is the communion we have as human beings, the love and the help we give to each other on that level, the inspiration and encouragement we share in our day-to-day lives. Through all the trials and tribulations of life, we learn about the joys and suffering of just being human. And in doing so, we become aware of the sufferings of others. And we can make use of the ways we have survived our ideals to give pointers to others, which they may use upon their own journey. To act in a way that is truly human is to value friendship at its highest level. Friendship is a bond that transcends imagined divisions like politics or religion. It is a beautiful coming together as spiritual beings and a testimony to the fact that the brother and sisterhood of humanity goes way beyond man-made concepts and ideas. It is truly heart to heart, soul to soul. Living a life in tune with one's higher nature unites all those who strive to do just the same. Inwardly, there can be a bond, even as outwardly there may seem to be differences. These are on the surface and are like clouds in front of the sun. We are all one in essence, and that is what really matters. In Theosophy, the words a universal brotherhood and sisterhood of humanity, regardless of race, creed, sex, caste or colour, should be contemplated deeply, because it is the only way true peace can ever come to this planet. It is a softening of the barriers that our minds erect, the building of bridges and not walls, the admittance of feelings that are natural and not falsely imposed and engendered on us by culture, politics or religion. We escape our love for others by hiding behind masks. Certain cultures try to impose their way of life upon others, even though their way of life is alien and often refractive to theirs. People in general have failed to learn what it is to be human and to live in harmony with other humans and other denizens of this planet Earth. That is the greatest test and lesson we are presented with when we are born into this world. Instead, we hide behind screens our minds create and that separate us from others, and we find excuses to create differences of culture, politics and religion. If we want to flourish as truly human beings, we need to stop this crazy desire to find ways to oppose and to abuse our fellow creatures. We are all in this life together, and we should try everything we can do to be friendly to each other. Try all and everything to do that. As Ram Dass says, we're just walking each other home. That's a very nice image. We are just walking each other home. Differences of opinion are caused by our intellectual interaction with the world around us. And belief systems of whatever kind created by the limited conceptions of the material mind that bases all its conclusions on ideas that stem from a misunderstanding of what is our true nature. Most religions believe that their way is the only one, and even within those religions, various sects believe that other sects of their religion are wrong. Which is right? Or are they all wrong? It would seem likely, because what is needed is something that unites and does not promote separateness. What unites must be right. The truth is that we all share the same spirit, which has been said countless times by many teachers over many centuries, but most people refuse to listen because they are so immersed in the mind-forged manacles that hold us down, and in many cases are created by people with a definite agenda to gain power or control over the population in general. Despite all the great world teachers crying out for us to love one another, we try our best not to. We limit that to our friends and family and therefore create more separateness. Or we give our love to God or Jesus or some other being who does not need it. Whereas ordinary human beings struggling in their day-to-day lives do. If God is love, why would he need any more? Why would love need love? Jesus told us that all he asked is that we should love others as he has loved us. He didn't ask us to love him in particular and specifically, but to go forth and spread that love to all beings. Not to waste that love, but to make it vibrant on this earth and a source of inspiration to those who have ears to hear. When you meet another human being, you meet them as just that. Any prejudices that you have due to religion, race or sex, etc., do not exist except in the conditioned aspects of the mind. They are all an illusion. When we meet as human beings, we are not aware of any political or religious leanings. We are just comfortable in each other's company. Because beyond all this, we are spiritual beings. But even on a material level, we are all human beings with the same fears, hopes and aspirations. Yet if a person reveals that they belong to a race or religion that the other person is at variance with, the atmosphere changes and becomes uncomfortable, no matter how well they got on before. This illustrates the destructive nature of man-made concepts and ideas. The real man or woman is a spiritual being, and in that context we are all one. How can that attitude change unless we consciously make it change? If we like or love another person, it is because we see and feel the beauty in them. We see them as spiritual beings and feel a harmony just being with them. If we feel a disharmony, that can only be because of ingrained prejudices causing us to erect barriers. Of course, there are people in the world that we can regard as evil due to their actions. These have lost touch with their spiritual nature, their spiritual self. But feeling antagonistic towards them will not help. Though, of course, that is our initial reaction to them. How can you feel love towards someone who is cruel and evil in our eyes? So we need just to be the opposite, bring positivity and love into the world, help on those beings and forces that are trying to bring peace to this planet. And if we have faith based upon knowledge, not blind faith, it will come about in time. It is sure to do so. It is only when we say and think that such a utopia can never be that we place obstacles in its achievement in time. Anything is possible if we just put our mind and soul to it. It may take centuries, it may take a short time, we don't know. But we just have to have that faith that it will come about. There's so much cruelty in the world, but also so much love in human hearts, ready to flower if only they can grasp what really matters and open their eyes to see the world we live in a new and more beautiful light. You see, many people have crossed my path in life, sometimes only very briefly, but they have brought something positive to me, and many have made me realise how wonderful it is to love the beauty in another person, beyond all the masks we wear in our ignorance. It is very poignant to think how all of us, to some degree, find ways to build these walls instead of these bridges, to find excuses of religion, culture or politics, to disrespect or even hate another human being. When we strip down all these differences that are man-made, we eventually return to our humanity and a love for each other that comes from understanding that we are all the same within. We are all one spirit. It's as if we are all flowers in a garden. So many different colours and scents, but all contributing to the beauty of the place in their own way, and each complementing the other. And the rain that falls is the love that keeps them fresh and alive, while the sun is the light of the Spirit that gives them that life. To one whose heart finds its relief in the sanctuary of the Spirit, and whose vision is one of the infinite peace it brings, it is hard to comprehend the mind of those whose only aim is to disrupt that tranquil space and create disharmony throughout this world. Why should anyone wish harm to another human being, or even to a fellow creature? Let's try to understand each other and protect and care for each other, regardless of race, creed, sex, caste or colour. Of course, I've said this many times, as have countless others, right up to the towering figures of spirituality, such as Jesus and the Buddha. But not many have listened, sadly, preferring to follow the dictates of their lower nature and the great dire heresy of separateness that weans us from the rest. They may use their deluded visions of a man-made image of God to give them excuse to inflict their own particular cruelty on other human beings, but in reality, the true spiritual path teaches only harmony in thought, word and deed. The true God will be one of peace, love and harmony. Never a negative thought or thought of hatred or anything negative would enter into that his being, because as we said, the divinity is love, or God is love, if you want to put it that way. So we surround ourselves with a bubble that separates us from other beings, and we walk around in these bubbles. We move and have our being really in our fellow human beings, in our fellow creatures. So let's pop the bubble and free our minds from bondage. Let's shatter the mind-forged manacles and be free. Then our vision will be clear, and we will truly see at last. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace on earth and goodwill to all beings. See you very soon, hopefully.